25 drivers, 16 nationalities, 3 champions, 1 champion. Road to Indy TV.
The month of May in Indianapolis is the biggest of the year for the NTT IndyCar Series with the running of the Indianapolis 500, and it's also huge for the Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires. The world's finest driver development ladder system is an exciting part of the action as the young Road to Indy drivers hit the ovals at both the iconic 2.5-mile Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the 5/8-mile banked Lucas Oil Raceway. The drivers of the Indy Lights presented by Cooper Tires took to the big track for the 17th running of the Freedom 100. Andretti Autosport's Robert McGinnis laid down a pair of extremely quick laps during single-car qualifying, winning the pole with a 2-lap average speed of 194.206 miles per hour. The start of the Freedom 100 was all that everyone expected, firing up 40 laps of constant action. A scary incident on lap 2 brought the race to an early halt when David Malukas lost the rear of his BN Racing Dallara IL-15 and spun in turn 2, collecting Belardi Auto Racing's Chris Windham in the process. Both cars made hard impact with the safety barrier, but thankfully both David and Chris were uninjured. The remainder of the race was edge-of-your-seat action, as 4 drivers officially led laps, but the fight for the win came down to a final lap shootout between Andretti Autosport teammates Ryan Norman and Oliver Askew. Norman sensed the need to pass Askew for the lead on the final run down the back straight, knowing that those behind him were using the draft to close up quickly. And Ryan's move to the point set up a final drag race to the line. Flat-footing it through turn 4, Askew leveraged his momentum to tuck in behind Norman, and he would edge him at the line in yet another thrilling Freedom 100 finish. In victory lane, Askew was overcome with disbelief and emotion while celebrating his 3rd win of the 2019 Indy Lights season with his enthusiastic family and team. Just 6 miles west of IMS, the USF 2000 and Indy Pro 2000 teams and drivers tackled the challenging Lucas Oil Raceway as part of the Carb Night Classic. Exclusive Autosport's Daniel Frost was the class of the Indy Pro 2000 field, dominating every session on both Thursday and Friday. The rookie from Singapore topped qualifying with a 2-lap average speed of 120.484 miles per hour, 1.5 miles per hour quicker than his closest competition. In the race, Frost was not challenged en route to a 4.8-second win in the Freedom 90, his first victory on the road to Indy. Juncos Racing finished 2nd and 3rd, led by an impressive drive from Stingray Robb, who worked his way past Kyle Kirkwood on lap 48 to take a well-deserved 2nd. Point leader Rasmus Lint put Kirkwood back 1 more spot, getting past the reigning USF 2000 champion on the final lap to take the 3rd step on the podium, maintaining his point lead in the process. In the USF 2000's Cooper Tires Freedom 75, Newman Walks Racing's Cameron Shields took the lead from the outside of the front row at the green, moving pole sitter Colin Kaminsky back to 2nd. Shields handled the race with relative ease, managing a pair of restarts to score a 1.5-second win over Legacy Autosport's Alex Barron, who advanced to 2nd from his 5th place starting position. Pabst Racing's Kaminsky completed a strong effort with an impressive 3rd place result to complete the podium. After a pair of events in May, the Road to Indy presented by Cooper Tires will now take a 1-month hiatus before reconvening at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin in late June.
Hi, I'm Chris Windham from Canton, Illinois, driving in the Indy Lights series for Belardi Auto Racing. Well, I live in St. Louis, Missouri, so I'm a pretty big hockey fan of the St. Louis Blues. They actually just went to the Stanley Cup, so it's pretty cool. I'm a big fisherman. I like any kind of fishing. If I can get deep sea fishing, I like to do that. It's something I've always enjoyed since I was a little kid. All my uncles were huge fishermen and outdoorsmen, and I got into it when I was younger. And now that I get to travel and go coast to coast here and get to go to New Zealand and race, I try to go deep sea fishing every country or spot I'm at where there is an ocean. So I've got to catch a lot of cool fish. Caught 3 or 4 marlin in Mexico this last season. So it's a lot of fun. Other than that, I race 90 times a year, so it takes up a lot of my season. But when I'm not, I try to go fishing. Try to go to a lot of hockey games and follow sports. I always enjoy when we get to start the year off in Florida, the first of the season. It's kind of a long off season in the winter before that. So it's nice to go down there and start off in February. I got to I got to go to New Zealand this winter and run. It's actually their summer when it's winter for us. So we got to go over there and run for 2.5 weeks this year. So that was probably the coolest place I've got to go and experience so far is with racing. Follow me on the road to Indy, and you can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Windham Chris.
Excitement and domination were the primary plot lines as the Road to Indy's month of May came to a close with a trio of oval races on Carb Day. Serving as a secondary plot line was a series of impressive recoveries. Once again, Indy Lights drivers put on an outstanding show in the Freedom 100 in front of a massive Carb Day crowd. Oliver Askew recovered after being DQ'd from qualifying to gain 7 spots and time his 21st pass of the day perfectly, crossing the yard of bricks by a razor-thin 67 thousandths of a second ahead of teammate Ryan Norman. Askew wasn't the only driver to recover from a post-qualifying penalty. Toby Sowery and Jared Andretti both finished 5 spots higher than they started, while Renus VK and Lucas Cole moved up 4 and 3 spots respectively. Robert McGinnis might have lost spots in the race, but his save of a sideways moment late in the going was a recovery in its own right. First of 2 dominating performances by drivers making their first career oval starts was turned in by Exclusive Autosport's Daniel Frost. He lapped all the way up to 5th spot to capture an easy victory in the Freedom 90 at Lucas Oil Raceway. Cameron Shields, who is mentored by 2018 Indianapolis 500 champion Will Power, dominated the Freedom 75, winning his first USF 2000 race and erasing a difficult start to his rookie season with Newman Walks Racing. USF 2000 points leader Braden Eves started the only oval race of the season on the outside of the 6th row, but turned in a great drive to salvage a top 5 finish, moving up 7 spots.
Hi, my name is Nikita Lostichkin. I'm from Russia, Moscow, and I live in Los Angeles. And I also drive for Exclusive Autosport, car number 90, Indy Pro 2000. I'm from Russia originally, but I moved to California when I was 16. Yeah, it's been pretty wild. What can I say? Living in Los Angeles for about 10 years now, I have a lot of history with the city, and I always thought it would be super awesome to just run through the entire city with all the streets closed out. You know, I've been planning to do this for a couple of years, and I ran a full marathon at under 4 hours. It's just an amazing experience. When I'm not at the racetrack, if I'm not doing something racing related, I'm trying to do anything so I'm not thinking about racing. So perhaps traveling. I like taking road trips, going to museums. I like reading books. I like playing video games. So fun stuff like that. I married my wife quite a few years ago, and she's amazing, and probably the best decision I made in my life, and have yet to regret it. It's been great. Little did we know, we actually discovered that we used to live across the street from each other back in Moscow, which is a huge city, 12 or 15 million people, something like that. And yeah, we used to live across the street. Follow me on Road to Indy, and you can follow me on my Facebook, Instagram, Nikita Goes Racing, and on Twitter, Nikita Goes Racing. But that's because there's not enough characters, not because I'm a gangster.
All right, we've gone further back into the Dallara facility here in Speedway, and now we're in the simulator room. I've got Bryce from Dallara Group here with me. He's gonna show us what this is all about, and he's here to answer questions. So right off the bat, what is this? What do we have here?
Alrighty, so this is a professional F1 aerospace graded simulator. It is one of 3 in the entire world of its kind. There is one here in this facility and 2 over in Italy. So we've got actually 3 different models that we can test at this one. Right now the mock-up that you see in it is an Indy Lights IndyCar mock-up. Different car models are mathematically inputted into the software up in the control room. Basically you can change any type of setup that you would want to run in a matter of seconds with the amount of technology and everything that's involved.
What are the advantages of doing a sim day here as opposed to driving the race car in real life?
Cost effectiveness. You know, you don't have to rent out a track. But if you crash a simulator,
no crash damage, that's always good.
You can get started back up again in 30 seconds and you're not losing any parts. So we've got a 180-degree screen that's ran by 3 projectors. You'll notice that there's different speakers too. When we turn it on, you'll hear, I mean, it even sounds like a real car.
real
There's a
race
big
car.
bass booster back here.
Okay. Let's say if I was going to come do a test day, how would we fit me in here so that it's exactly like my race car?
Yes,
Do I bring my own seat and all that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we would change, I believe these are the IndyCar side pods, and we would throw on the Indy Lights side pods and get it all set up to, you know, make sure you are as close to being in the real car
Yeah,
as
so that same
as
tactile
possible.
sensation,
Yes.
same feedback. Like you belt them down, you got to wear a helmet
yeah.
and everything,
Yep,
the whole
yep.
thing. The real question: has anyone ever been sick in this thing from the motion?
So yes, there are some guys that they suffer from motion sickness, and sometimes it's not the best thing for them. So, but the sim also has the option to be a stationary platform. So most of the time, and if that's the case, then we just make it a stationary platform.
This has been a behind-the-scenes tour of the Dallara simulator here at the facility in Speedway, Indiana. Thank you, Bryce, for giving us the tour of the facility. It's been very informative.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you.
Hope to see you in here for a session sometime.
Yeah, we'll have to set that up. Looks pretty fun.
Yes.
Hi, my name is Darren Keene. I'm from Boca Raton, Florida. I'm currently racing in the USF 2000 Championships in the Cape Motorsports number 2. I'm from Boca Raton, Florida. I was born there. Apart from my whole life, obviously, I lived in England for 2 years, from when I was 14 to 16. And I karted over there a bunch, and I was just trying to improve my racing craft and stuff like that. I feel like as a kid growing up in England, you have a lot more freedom. Not like rights-based, obviously, but my parents wouldn't let me like walk to the park or like walk to the store or wherever, living in Florida, but in England that's just the normal. So I would walk to school, which is like probably like a 25-minute walk, like walk to the park, hang out with my friends. Outside of racing, I really like anything like outside related, pretty much. Being in Florida, we have nice weather the whole year, so a lot of boating, fishing. I go skimboarding at the beach. I really like board-related stuff at school, like a longboard around to get to class and stuff like that. I think my favorite racetrack to this date is probably Watkins Glen. I'm pretty upset that it's not on the schedule anymore, but I'm really excited for Toronto. Like, I always just love street courses, especially one like Toronto, because it's just like, you know, a minute and 10 seconds of like manhandling the car. Follow me on the road to Indy this year at Darren_Keene25 on Instagram and Twitter, and Darren Keene Racing on Facebook.
We just wrapped up an exciting weekend of oval action here in Indianapolis. Here's your next weekend's preview. Now that the month of May has come to an end, it's time to focus our attention on a trio of championships and the advancement scholarships that go with them. Olive Rascue and Renus VK have contested 37 Road to Indy races together. Combined, they've won 23 of them. So, it should come as no surprise the rivals have already exchanged the Indy Lights points lead 3 times in 4 events. Askew heads to Road America with an 11-point lead. 3 different drivers representing 3 different teams have dominated the opening trio of Indy Pro 2000 events, leaving the position of championship favorite vacant for now. Double Indianapolis Motor Speedway Roadcross winner Rasmus Lindh leads the way, but has a trio of drivers within 27 points. Braden Eves' winning streak ended after 4 races with a 5th-place finish on the oval, but the Cape Motorsports rookie was still able to extend his points lead over Hunter McElrea to 44 points. The fight for 3rd in the championship is going to be one to watch, as 5 drivers are separated by only 4 points. All 3 series will be back at the end of June at Road America.